was?
Well, I was there for 7 years, and it was just time to move on. I mean, everything I would look at or read about, I felt like, I had that same syndrome going on, and something was going to happen to me. And so, I saw deceased individuals every day, and, they're there for a good reason, but it was just time to go.
So your job was?
Managing regulatory.
And what is that?
So,
you floated that before we went on, and none of us knew what that was.
Well, it's a transplant center, and they have guidelines they have to follow. And so they were regulated by the FDA and a couple of other accreditations. And so I just made sure we were in compliance.
And part of the guidelines were that the corpses go near Jean?
No, not that they go near me, but I mean, my office was next to ICU in the morgue.
The corpses must go near Jean.
But I was just wondering if you're writing...
That'd be a governmental regulation.
Because if you're writing regulations and stuff, I figure you're in an office with a computer as opposed to having deceased people in a gurney next to you,
Yeah, clinical
but you had
office. When you walk in the building, you walk by the morgue, and you pass the ICU, so...
We want to let our listeners, if any of our listeners want to ask Jean any questions, they can get involved here on the team lines, 969-1380, 1-800-491-1380. Producer Joe, do you have any questions for...
I just want to say first, I think right off the bat, you're the smartest of all the contestants so far, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you.
You don't want to be threatened by a woman? Joe likes to dominate his woman.
I promise I won't threaten you or make you feel uncomfortable. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm a little older. I can probably give you a tip or two.
That's what you want? So
I think I sense.
I can go ahead and tell you how your life is going to pan out right before you get engaged.
I think you were a little insulted by his question.
Am I?
It was implying that you're an older woman, and I think that was insulting.
Yeah,
I'm offended.
You're out of line, sir.
Way to go, Joe.
Jean, you said you could tell Producer Joe how his life is going to go right before he gets engaged. Can you give us any input on how his life is going to go right before he gets engaged? Because I do think that that's probably going to happen right around the Christmas holiday.
Oh, well, things... I don't really know Darlene, so I can't really comment too much, but I would say your life is going to change drastically if you're going to have things happen in December.
Well, that's pretty obvious.
For the better or worse?
Oh, for the better, of course.
The scuttlebutt is she's a very lovely lady.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the great thing is we're able to tell you what to do and how to do things, and things that you thought you knew how to do, you don't.
So Darlene will actually set him straight?
I think so.
If you allow me, I will give you a scenario of which you will probably be faced, but something like, hey, I was out, I drank 4 bottles of booze, and I passed out in the post office parking lot, and I woke up with no pants and a homeless guy breastfeeding off me. What should I do with my life? This is the kind of thing Joe runs into from time to time. What would your advice be? Get off the booze?
Definitely. Get off the booze.
Get off the booze.
Get a job. Do something. Maybe find some money and gamble. Do whatever.
He's already doing that.
Get off the booze.
You don't have to worry about that. I don't know who is that. Mike Lee on line 1? Let's see if it's Mike Lee on line 1. Joe's trying to control the show with a bad attitude.
Yeah,
he's
having a little tantrum
real quick.
there.
Yeah. Is it Mike Lee? All right. For the sake of time, Joe's in a bad mood because Matt Vasgersian's on the show, and as you know, all the planets revolve around Matt Vasgersian, not necessarily the sun. So we have to cut the segment. Gene, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been fun.